main man Fabulous, man. I'm holding it down with
Reece, my brother Reece.
Reece.
The homie Reece, you already know, man. It's Taylor Gang, I die.
Who you with?
Reece.
Yeah. Who you with?
Who you with?
You and Jadakiss. Let me hit the hype bell. We back at it, man. Your boy Reece right here, of course. I told you, man, I got my brother from another ET Cali in the building. We about to chop it up. What's good, homie?
I'm feeling good, man. First of all, if everyone's just now tuning in, man, I want to salute Reece real quick and his pops, of course, man. The facilities, the room, this whole everything that's built up this way is a prime example of if you're not going to do it for me, I can do it myself, and I'm going to make it look better. I've been to a whole bunch of radio stations across the nation, and I've seen billion-dollar companies that don't have this kind of setup for their studio rooms.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, it's
appreciate
crazy.
that.
There's the only other station I say that's like dope like this. I went to Fusion Radio. Peter Parker's over there, and their setup is incredible. But they have like the laser light shows. And
Yeah, I seen that too.
yeah, his show. But like, I ain't gonna front. But as far as like getting it done, it's kind of like if other radio stations that are $1 million and $1 billion companies aren't doing this in their studios, what the hell are you really? You know, what am I getting here? You know what I mean? Like, what are y'all doing?
Got you, man. ET, what we do here on a Reece Show Live.
Look at the big button,
We
bud.
got the button, bro. This the hype button. We got to give you the hype button.
The hype button. I
hitting
love
the hype
that.
button a lot today.
What?
I know
That is hard as shit.
Shout out to Red Bull for the hype button, man. Shout out my boy Austin. All right, listen. What we do here is we got to give flowers to certain people that's been doing it, been killing it, and still going, man. So this is what we do here. We give the biggest intro ever, and you definitely deserving of that. You ready for that, homie?
I'm
It's all
totally
about
whatever you
that
got. Let's go.
Stay tuned because you know
what
Reece
it
is going to
right
have
here,
one of
the
your
biggest
favorite
intro
stars
ever
for him
from my
today.
boy.
Stay tuned.
California bred media legend can not only captivate the audience with his unique approach, but at a certain time, he could kill it in any dance battle, too.
Yeah. I actually got on in radio that way.
There we go.
So
we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Let me keep giving you these flowers. We're going to talk about it. As a radio legend, he was part of the most recognizable brands in hip-hop. The Durtty Boys broke all types of ratings and share record-breaking artists onto the forefront, hosting some of the biggest events and keeping the energy on the radio at an all-time high. He's active in the community, turning up at schools all across Metro Atlanta, and a key piece in ATL's nightlife. And that's saying something when you talk about Atlanta nightlife. His hosting skills are incredible, impeccable even, mixing his wit from being an MC and his shock value from being a VJ. The creator of the Galaxy, Benefit, E.T. Says, the artist, the MMA fighter, might put you in a headlock.
Oh my gosh.
Host, personality, my damn friend. E.T. is in the building,
Man.
live on the Reece Show.
boy, if I could get that kind of an intro when I walk into a girl's bedroom, like, bitch, you better
So,
recognize.
you see what I'm talking about?
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you need to recognize who this is. Nah, man. I appreciate that because, I gotta be real with you, man. When you're in go mode,
Yeah.
I don't think about that kind of stuff. I'm just thinking about what's the next thing I need to conquer.
What's the next
And
thing?
I don't have the mentality of I just want to do well out of it. I'm one of those guys. You ever play video games with someone and they don't just want to beat you by a touchdown?
Yeah, they
like
wanna
I'm
run
that
it
guy.
up. Yeah.
I run it
Run
up.
it up.
Like I'm so in my mind, like when I do martial arts or I do like MMA, Muay Thai
Right.
is my practice of martial arts specifically. I'm not in there like just.
I'm gonna just work out.
Yeah, like I
wanna be the
want to
best.
know the training of it, and
Yeah.
and throwing 35-pound medicine balls at a wall in punching form. Like I want to go. I want to be the best at it. If I'm gonna be a host, I'm gonna do things that's gonna sound and look different to make other people copy it. Like, you know what I mean? So, yeah, man, I appreciate it because I don't think about that kind of stuff.
Nah,
I just go.
A couple of things that we didn't really mention, though, let's get into it right now, is like you just said, you take things seriously, even though you have a fun and almost a youthful approach to the game, right? But
Yeah.
you've always taken the business part of it seriously, and the production side. You come in early, you put in that work, you
Yes.
staying up late, you making sure you're doing the
I don't take
research for the show.
vacations.
Talk to them about that, man.
So, I always tell people like I've never been I never took like a lot of vacations. I remember Hurricane Dave, a couple other people used to be like, man, you gotta take your breaks. You gotta take your breaks. You know what I mean?
Use
Even
your
when
PTO, that's
yeah,
what they say.
even at iHeart, Dave was like, this guy doesn't take any breaks, and I was like, we're building a new station in Atlanta. That was when I was at 105. It's a 105.3 now, but it was a 96.7 when it first started. Yeah, man, like I don't understand when you're living in your passion and what you're supposed to do, it doesn't feel like work. Now people can take advantage of that, which
That's
is
true. Yeah, because you start doing 4 or 5 jobs.
Yeah, which
you want your stuff to be better.
Yeah, because I want my stuff to be better, and I want to be a part of something that's better. So I might end up doing things for other people, like making intros for other people's shows, or doing production, or doing commercials for them, because
5 jobs you just named. Let me hit the hype bell. Know how to do imaging and production.
But you do it because it's a passion, not because you're arrogant or you're conceited or you think you're better than anybody else.
You're working like a team.
Yeah, I just think that when you're living in your life passion, you don't question it and you just kind of like run with it. I don't hear what people hear when I talk. When people say you got a unique voice, or people say your energy is this, I'm just
doing you.
I'm just being me. So I don't really know what people are saying. I just know that people like it and it works. And if I get on the mic for some reason, I get to say certain things that other people cannot say.
And not wait.
And get away with it.
Get away with it.
Yeah, I say a lot of things on the mic. I mean, E.T. Says was literally created in the club because I got tired of other hosts copying me.
Right.
So I created a game called E.T. Says for the women, and they did it.
Right.
You know,
I know that's because I've been through that before. When you say certain stuff on a live broadcast,
yeah.
And then you turn around, you go in the club, and you hear it, you be like, hold on.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's everyone's got their thing. I was talking to your pops back in the back room, and I asked him a simple question. I was like, has anyone ever interviewed you in the perspective of like, why? What makes you the doer that you are? I think there's something to be said for the king maker.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. The guy
that's behind the king.
Yeah.
And if you're a king maker, that is a priceless position in life.
Come on, man. That's the feel.
And I think that when I think of your pops, I think of him like a king maker. I'm like, this guy's a king maker. Like, I don't know if he knows it, but
I think I told him once or 5 times, maybe this week.
Well, it's not just money, but it's the act of knowing how to get it done or figuring it out.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't have that grit. I'm an entertainer.
Right.
I know my position in life. Like you give me a mic and a crowd of 1 million people, I'll show you how to rock it.
Right.
No problem.
Right.
You could right now. It's just who I am as a person. But there's something to be said to someone who can come to me and say, hey, E.T., I see what you got going on. Watch. Let's make this happen. I don't do that part.
Right.
Now I will.
But you can execute. But I will say this: you've done that part before.
I've done it because I don't like. There's a difference between having perfection and having it done right. Perfection is something you can never reach because there's always something you can get better at.
But you trying to reach it.
But getting it right is different, man. Like you got to have a foundation to get it right. You can't put a dope house on a weak foundation. That's right. And a lot of people are so worried about the house, they're not thinking about the foundation.
That's right.
And I think that, you should be more worried about that in any aspect, relationships, business, whatever it is that you're doing, the foundation has got to come first. Working out, the foundation is basically the same word as saying discipline.
Yeah, but you have that, and it's got to come from a certain mentality. Because I think you said it earlier, you approach MMA the same way.
Yeah.
You approach radio that way.
Yeah.
You approach music that way.
Yes.
In a meticulous way. I want it to sound right. I want it to be sonically good. I want it to be written correctly.
I know the frequency. Right. I know. I explained some. I try to explain to somebody about hosting, right?
Yeah.
I was talking to DJ Omizi. He said, bro, when you host, man, you reach out to the crowd with your arm and you get them to do. It's like, I've never seen.
Right.
And Omizi works for Streets 945. And I was like, you got to understand, bro, like, energy is a real thing.
And it can be transferred.
It is transferred and it's received in when I say it's okay, if anyone has ever heard a singer and they gave them chills, that means that they're hitting a body frequency that you have no control over.
Right.
When I host, that's all I'm aiming for.
Right.
Whether you even know me or not, I'm gonna get you to respond.
Right.
And I work in that realm of talking that way, fluctuating my voice, saying funny things, punchlines, all that is like I tell people it's organized chaos, but the key word is organized.
Organized, yeah. Yeah, it's a method behind the madness, as some would say.
Absolutely,
Right.
Reece. Like, you know, if you guys don't know anything about Reece, let me tell y'all something, man. If there was a guy that had the mentality to get it done without asking for help, it's this dude right here. Reece would like, I remember when we was at the station, he'd be like, yo, I'm gonna throw barbecues. He didn't go through the station to do it. He got with his pops. They figured out the way to get some sponsorships on their own. They put together these barbecues randomly for people to come just eat on a Sunday afternoon. And I was like, that's brilliant.
Yeah. And shout out to you for pulling up, because everybody was invited.
But you know what's so crazy? Like when I talk about the things that you were doing, I was like, and still doing actually on a bigger level now, but it's amazing to me when I see things happen like that, and I see other people who are sitting in the chairs of opportunity, and they're complaining to the chair. Like you're in the chair. Like now it's up to you to. You're sitting there.
Turn it.
Yeah.
Move with it.
Yeah. It's crazy, bro. I never understood it. You know, when I went to iHeart, it was I had the stripper pole in the studio.
Man, I swear I was about to say that. Like, you know, I went to the studio to visit Scream, and I was like, E.T. did that, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was like,
yes.
Yep. Shout out Scream, man. But yeah, bro, I always knew if you have the opportunity, you're gonna take full advantage of it. And I'm not saying that in a negative way at all. And I mean that in the most positive
I
way
understand.
possible. It's a starting point. The stage is the starting point.
You know, I'm gonna tell you something, man. There's a difference in life between the right answer and the real answer. And this is just me being honest right now. If you ask anyone a question, you will always get the right answer. Okay. If you want the real answer, observe the behavior. Everything that I ever did when I was producing Dirty Boys, when I came up with side piece shoutouts, when I came up with Battlegrounds, I came up with Stripper Check-In, was because if I would have went and proposed those kind of ideas, other people would have had the chance to shoot me down for their right answers. It's disrespectful. I don't think women are going to want to do it, blah, blah, blah. When I created Side Piece Shoutouts, it was one based off of anger. I was mad at the station for what they told me about Battlegrounds. And then the other part was to prove that women cheat more than men, and 85% of women called in. And
is that a quotable fact?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Listen. Over 85% of the people that called in were women, and they were in range of age. Just so we're clear,
this is true.
They were in range of age, probably from 17. I think it was the youngest one we had call in, but we had grandmothers call in.
Yeah, I remember those. I remember a lot of those calls.
Yeah. So it was anonymous, and the way I presented it was I presented it from a real perspective. If I could get women to respond in a real manner versus the right answer, they will always show me their ego.
But it's genuine, and that's coming across on the airways, because Atlanta's a mix of that. Like, I'm on and I'm talking to business owners. I'm like, y'all come in with the at work check-in. Let's do this question today, get different perspectives.
Yes.
And now I hear both of our shows still on air, but we'll talk about it later.
Oh man.
But will you get those perspectives?
Not the same numbers.
I mean, you get those perspectives from the city, and you know who you're dealing with, and that has an O because you're out in the streets too. You dealing with people, and you know what the city's like.
I think when you're in radio or podcasting, if you're not out touching people, I always say not physically, but just just presence. Yeah. If you're not touching the public in some way, like I was big in the high schools. I even now schools still book me. Right. Because I wasn't doing pep rallies. I created the lunch takeovers in Atlanta. I don't know about other markets, but in Atlanta, no one was doing like lunch takeovers. Right. So I didn't want to do pep rallies, so I started doing lunch takeovers. Now everyone else does them, but when I created it, nobody was doing them. Right. And the reason was because, one, it was like I can just rock. I got tired of doing pep rallies because I had to bring an artist. If they came in there smelling like weed, the school was going to complain to me. Right. I had to worry about I had to worry about the consequences of what the radio station was going to say. Right. If someone was late, did they cuss? Some of the students weren't going to be there because they always do it towards the end of school. And I was like, that's just lame. So I was like, let me just do a lunch takeover. Yeah. Where I bring a DJ, I bring me, we play music, they eat lunch, they have a good time. Right. And I got to interact with all the students. Yeah. It worked out better. It was less stress. I'm not going to come in here smelling like weed or drunk. Right. I'm not going to have, those kind of issues. Plus, I could bring the station in there. It could only be about the station and me. Right. Like it was
You
way
bringing it
better.
back to the station, man. So that's a little key gem right there from the homie ET. Talking about staying connected with the people, man. Let's talk about you getting started, like coming to Atlanta and getting on the radio. How the heck did that happen? Because you coming from the West Coast.
I came from Cali because I was caught up, in the lifestyle, just banging all that stuff, and
You
after
want something different.
yeah, actually, Jerry Smoking B knows how deep I was in it, because when I first got here, we had a long conversation. Jerry Smoking Bees will always be family to me.
Shout out to the legend.
Yes.
It's because both of y'all got curly hair. That's
Shut
that's how y'all got linked in.
Oh my God, nah, Jerry. I think Jerry just seen that I was willing to go. When I first got to Atlanta, I was big into, like, I'm just a hip hop kid, right?
Yeah.
I but I grew up in like Santa Ana, LA, San Diego, like all over Southern Cali. I grew up, you know what I mean? So, I got exposed to, like, I remember RIP to the GOAT, Nipsey Hussle. I made a joke. We was talking about it, and I was like, yeah, I grew up, like, he was talking about, most of his life in LA. And I was like, yeah, I grew up in LA too, but I also grew up in Santa Ana, so I grew up around gangbangers and skateboarders.
Right.
And we started,
Right.
so
A good mix.
a good little mix, you know what I mean? He started laughing. He's like, yeah, that's some true shit right there, homie. And, I remember him saying that shit, so we was laughing about it. But like, when I got here, I was big into, like, hip hop, so I knew how to rap, I knew how to dance, and I was in the club dance. But this is at a time when Atlanta was doing their style of dance, and here I come doing, like, Chris Brown shit.
Chris Brown, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're like, what is that?
Yeah.
So I remember being in the club, and one of the goats of, I don't know what this was. I think this guy, I forgot his name, man. And I'm sorry if he sees this, man. I really mean no disrespect. But he was an artist. He was like a singer. And I wasn't here for this era.
Right.
But he had a song that was, when I got here, was already old, but it was like straight from the deck, like straight from the deck.
Right.
The singer of that, little dude.
Yeah.
He's like 4 foot nothing, bro.
Right.
He used to take me around. And I was too young to get into the clubs. And I was in the club one time, and he pulled me in the club, and he was like, yeah, I used to roll around with him. And he brought me in the club, and I was in there doing my dance and shit.
Right.
And one of the ladies at the station saw me and hit on me. And she was like, oh, you're way too young. How are you in here? She's like, you know what? You should come intern at the station. I was like, what the fuck you talking about?
Sure. Right.
Yeah. So I went to the radio station, and in like 2 months, man, of internship, I was on the air. I was interning. I was there every day, morning, noon, and night, to the point to where my first paycheck that I got from Radio 1 at the time was in engineering.
Wow. Because you was there all the time.
I was learning
everything,
how to
right.
engineer, set up the broadcast, host the broadcast, and promotions had, at the time the internship was only through promotions.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't let anyone go anywhere. I never
Right.
told nobody. I just did it. I was like, all right, bet.
I'm going to be in here.
Yeah, and I walked over there to the engineering side, and
Right.
Jason Staten and I forgot the white dude's name, would, like, I'd be in there learning how to what plug did what plug did this, and then I would stay and do production.
Learned the business.
Yeah. I remember Kathy Hughes one time when do you know Michael Buffer?
Yeah.
Okay, Michael.
Come on, man.
I'm saying,
Let's
look,
get ready. I can't say the whole thing.
Yeah.
Get sued, but yeah.
this is why I bring it up. Someone had put that in a commercial.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the first time that Mary Catherine, at that time when she was at Radio 1, ever talked to me personally.
Yeah.
She calls up the hotline. I forgot who was on the air. I think it was one of the female radio personalities, right? And mind you, I'm on the air, but I'm not hired as a personality.
Yeah, you.
But
in
I'm
the
on
studio,
the air
on
like
the air.
every day,
Yeah,
bro.
right.
So this is when Cocoa Brother was on, and I would do the 10 to 2 slot. I was on the air every day, but not as an employee.
Yeah.
I was employed in engineering, so it was weird. And so this is
You
during,
over there with Vic and Jason.
yeah. So this is during the daytime.
Shout out to Tall Boy.
And fucking and they're on the air, and Mary Catherine calls the hotline, and she's going off.
Yeah.
Take it the fuck out of the da-da-da-da-da. That's a $2 million lawsuit.
Right. It's like saying Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Super Bowl party. Can't do that.
You can't do that.
Right.
Because he owns the right to that saying.
Right.
And the radio person at the time, she was like, I don't know how to do it. I was like, I do. So I went in there, I edited it. I'm talking about in less than 5 minutes, bro.
Right.
Put it back into and it was taken out, right?
Right.
Saved the station like $2 million, and that's the first. And then she called me after, and we had like a conversation. That was the first time I had ever You know, but I knew how to do production.
Yeah, and that's an ode to anybody trying to get a broadcast. They say, well, how do I get into it? How to
Learn
There's no
everything.
way, but learn everything.
Yeah, because
There's
you
no
don't know
way.
where you're gonna
Yeah.
be. I had no clue that that I was gonna be successful as a personality. I was literally there just having fun.
Yeah.
And see, someone said, "Oh, I need an intro. Oh, I know how to rap. Let me do that.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to do these commercials. What you need? Let me do the what's ups. Oh, okay. You need a production. Hey, we're out of engineers for the broadcast setup. All right, I got it.
Right.
And I can host it.
Right.
So you don't gotta pay their personality. You can pay me, and I'll just drive it over there, set it up, host it, dip.
Right.
So it was like a one-stop shop.
Like
So
a Ginsu knife. I can cut. I can do
bro,
whatever I
like
need to
what
do.
you need,
Right.
bro. And I wanted to do it the best at every level. So yeah, man, like it's it's a very fun industry
Yeah.
if you're living in your passion. But where it becomes difficult is when the people around you see it and they want to take a piece or block you from this.
Yeah.
Or someone around you is, worried about crap that doesn't matter and like they want to engage you in arguments or take shots at you. I can't tell you how many times, you know this too, man, how many times I had to hold back from beating the shit out of people. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I think we cut from a similar cloth in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Obviously, our approach is different in a lot of ways. We cut from a similar
Yeah,
cloth
yeah.
in a lot of ways. We know how to connect with
you
people.
have more go get it. Like your knowledge of how to get things done is better. Like I learned that late. I learned it now, but like I learned that late.
Yeah, but I had to, honestly, because I think we have it in us naturally, but I was able to see, like I saw my pops do it. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I can do that and can, when we'll do it. You know what I'm saying? And we both have I'd rather ask for forgiveness instead of permission. Like I'm gonna hit it and do it.
Bruh,
you know
you know who taught me that when I was an intern? Ryan Cameron. Ryan Cameron said it. He didn't say it like directly to me, but I always tell people like, be in the vicinity of people that are super successful.
Yeah.
And even if they're not talking to you, act like they are. And just listen to what shut up for a minute and just listen to what they're saying.
They got there for a reason.
Yeah. And I think I heard Ryan Cameron one time say, man, I'd rather apologize for it second.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, that makes a lot of sense. Like,
Yeah.
I never asked to do side piece shout outs. I never asked for stripper check-in. I never asked iHeart for a poll.
Right.
I told them that I was going to change the way the 5 o'clock traffic jam sounded in the market.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do 5 o'clock traffic jams.
Yeah.
I thought that shit was lame. Anyone still doing 5 o'clock traffic jam in this market in Atlanta, you are like 30 years old as far as like,
It's just behind what's going on right now.
like it's the lamest shit. So I created something that was different where it was interactive.
Yeah.
And the fact that I had a stripper pole going on during the mix and you could watch it live in the studio
Yeah.
and cash app them $1. Do you know how much money them girls was making? Bruh.
A lot.
You could ask A+.
Yeah.
Like it was incredible. Like one girl, we had girls at the time when I had the stripper pole in the studio where one girl, I will never forget this, she flew herself out here from Oakland.
Sheesh.
She got here just to be on Twerk Tuesdays.
Right.
I own the trademark, by the way. Just to be on,
Hit the bump for that.
just so we're clear.
We own a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I own the trademark, by the way. And I created that because it was just once a week, and it was just twerk music on Tuesdays during the mix at 5 o'clock.
Right.
And Tay was on the pole, and I would give them like 2 interview breaks. Like, hey, where you at? Where you dance at? Some of them some girls were smart. Hey, I'm just doing this so I'm paying for my law degree.
Right.
Cool.
Some girls in the business.
Yeah, some girls in the business. And it was like 2 or 3 breaks with them on the radio. I put them on there and they get on the pole, make like $1,200, bro.
Crazy.
In like 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Because people was watching it live from around wherever they're
And
at.
they want to support the hustle.
And y'all, you should to listen to that Cash App ring, ding, 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 $1, $5. I was like, damn, y'all hoes making bread off of this. But you know what? So we know what people don't understand about the South and hip hop is that twerking and strippers are part of the hip hop culture.
No, it's part of that's part of the rite of passage for any artist to pop off down here. Like you gotta go.
You gotta have the
club.
girls that in the booty club fuck with you, bro.
Yeah, you got to.
And people were asking me, like, I remember one girl was like, don't you think it's like misogynistic? I'm like, I'm not forcing nobody to do this.
I didn't make the game up.
I didn't make
it's
the
part of what I'm.
Yeah,
where
it's not
I'm
even.
at.
It's like when people. I think people use that word in the wrong context.
Yeah.
Like No, I didn't force anybody. You know what? When I was a little kid, remember this? Remember back in the day when they would try to say, oh, they're only using these women in these videos. It's so misogynistic. Like,
Yeah.
they're and I remember even as a kid, I was like, oh, well, that's messed up, And then I got older and Instagram came out and or MySpace, and I seen girls doing it to themselves.
Right.
Like, I didn't tell you to post that naked picture.
Right.
I didn't tell you to twerk on that thing.
Right.
You're misogynistic against yourself. What are you
Right.
talking about? Like,
Right.
it didn't make any sense. So.
It's a double-edged sword because you say misogyny on one side, then you say, oh, that's just a woman taking control of her sexuality or grabbing her power. So really, I'm just going to put this poll here and then you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, and then if you get on it and you bust it open for like Walmart doors, I can't like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to get mad at that. But you're understanding that the role that the women have played, some of the women have played for like the twerking and the dancing over the years in hip hop, especially Southern hip hop.
Right.
It's like, dog, they're part of the culture.
We
like
have Freaknik here for God's sakes.
Geez, bruh, this is like twerking and me putting that stripper pole in my studio is part of the culture. I'll never forget when I had Black Youngster in there. He's like, bruh, I ain't never been in an interview like this, man. You know what I mean? I ain't never, he talks like that. And I put a girl on the pole. He was throwing money, and then
hey man, listen, it's part of the culture, and it's gonna happen.
And they got an interview. And at the time, I was like, bro, you're not gonna go to another radio show like this. Everybody else is doing the typical stuff,
right?
And so I just think that the podcasting game, the radio game, online, everything, it has to coincide together. And if it's not, then it's just a perception of It's just this thing of like, people
trying to keep things separate with really they kind of go together.
They definitely go together.
People, like we talked a little bit about it earlier. People are still punching, they're still going to the radio, but I think, and just personally, I think they need to be connected to the personality and not the music, because I can go listen to whatever song I want to.
It's been that way for 20 years. This idea like it's new. I'm like, if anyone's saying that we're in a new era of like radio and podcasting, you're a moron. Like, you're so late. The first podcast that was made available to the public was 2003.
Yeah, it's true.
YouTube came out in 2005. Spotify's been around forever. People have been streaming music since the late 90s. What are we talking about?
Listen, if you go watch the movie The Benchwarmers that came out in like 2005, they mentioned podcasting for the baseball team, the fake baseball team in the movie.
Bruh, I'll give you another current time movie that was for teenagers. It was a current time, meaning like it was made about the times they were in.
Right.
Do you remember American Pie?
Yeah.
Okay. You remember when he sent the wrong link out?
Yep.
And he was in the room and the girl was like trying to get him freak him and stuff like that.
Right.
That movie came out in 1999.
Yep.
It was relative to the time of the people living in that era. Nothing has changed except where you do it.
Yeah.
For 30 or 40 years. So this idea like things are new, it's like when I hear people talk about, I'm like, bro, everything that me and Janix did, like Dirty Boys wise, was all online.
Yeah.
It was from MySpace days all the way up. Only thing that changed for us is what site we did it on.
Right. The game did not change.
Nothing changed. I'm like,
the playing field.
Yeah, the playing field. I'm like, y'all. So I don't know, man. I think that I think there's a lot of people that are in positions that should not. They're too busy reading numbers, and they should be looking at the people. There are no demographics no more. There haven't been demographics for over 30 years.
Me and my daughter like the same shoes, the same music, the same. Like, it's not like we listen to different radio stations or we listen to the different artists. I took them to the Dirt concert yesterday,
right?
And we bumping Baby on the way there.
Yeah.
And both of us know the songs word for word. You know what I'm saying?
And not even just that. It's like there was a time like your mom never knew what an artist, like the artist you were talking about.
Right.
Now, like for example, I host, I'm booked 5 days a week in hosting club because that's what I do.
For that. It's not normal, bro.
That's what I do. People like that's
Right.
a host. Let's get him real quick. So I'm blessed with that, right? I did R&B Wednesday last night, over 1,000 people.
Right. Shout out to VVS.
Yeah, VVS is my panty raising Escalades all day. And what I tell people is like, if you just are quiet for a moment and you pay attention, you will notice in most clubs, even 1145 when I hosted there, or Club Mansion days when I was hosting Mansion, like I would notice sections where it's like, I know cousin them over there like 30 and them girls
Right.
over there like 18 and they 20. So they're all there.
Yeah.
Now they party to it differently,
Yeah.
but
That's
they
true.
know it.
Yeah.
So if they're all twerking, you might see some 25-year-old women know the same record and they're just kind of like in the
They
chair
kinda
vibing
bopping a little bit,
Yeah.
yeah.
But they know the records.
Right.
So this idea, like everyone trying to target an audience, like the ongoing joke for the last 3 years at my martial arts gym is if you want to find a hot single mother, go on TikTok because they're on there doing their dances.
They are.
But in people's mind, they think TikTok is for the kids.
Right.
I'm like, I don't know where y'all get
Nah,
this
bro.
crap from.
No, it's not. I promise you it's not.
I don't
got
know where
so
people
many
get this.
aunties on my TikTok.
Everyone's
Shout
on
out to
Twitch.
aunties.
Everyone's on TikTok.
Yep.
Everyone's on Reels. Everyone's on Instagram. Fan base. They're everywhere.
Right.
This idea, like you can target only one audience, has been dead for like 30 years.
Everybody's in the same verse right now.
I remember saying that at the station, and people used to think I was crazy. I'm like, bro, y'all don't know what you're talking about. We got in trouble, not in trouble, but I remember we got questioned.
Yeah.
We were number one with teens like 12 to 17 or something like that.
Yeah.
We were number one 18 to 34 year olds, but we were number two,
Yeah.
like
34 to 54.
yeah,
Right.
And they were like, "Why are you guys attracting that audience?" I was like, "Because there's no demographics." I was like, "Y'all are so caught up
Moms
in
and daughters listening to the same
Jesus."
thing.
I could not get them to understand. I was like, "There's two ways to win
Yeah.
in podcasting and radio, and it will never change." And it's all I have two things that have always applied. One is the right answer versus the real answer.
Right.
Has never failed me in anything that I do, hosting wise, radio, or the way I attack certain things in business. The second thing is, you cannot it's the right versus the real answer, and then the other part is you cannot like you have to just throw it all out there. There is no targeting a demographic no more, right?
Yeah.
Here's the second thing. You either say what they're saying,
Yeah.
that's the younger audience, right? Or you say what they're thinking. That's the older audience. But
right.
they're all thinking and doing the same thing.
yeah.
So maybe an older person might be like, "Ooh, I can't believe he said that."
Right.
But a young person is saying it and they're laughing. So
Right.
they're obviously it's the same boat.
Right.
I don't understand. You have conversations with older people,
Right.
And they all tell you the same thing. Yeah, I remember. Tell you stories, freak stories,
I remember this back in the day. Somebody's auntie was at Freaknik 94.
bruh.
She's 50 now.
Doing it.
You know what I'm saying? But she was on top of a car. So
Busting
they
that-
understand it.
And they're thinking it. They might not say it now, but they're thinking it. That's how you win in podcast.
Right.
That's how you win in radio. Now, here's the issue. There's a wrinkle.
How you
How you either got to have the voice and personality to get away with it.
Yeah.
And some of y'all don't. You think just because you can talk that,
Right.
you know what I mean?
It's definitely a gift and talent that goes into the approach as well.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know. But that's the game of it, and where we're at right now. It's a funny time. Everyone's kind of sensitive.
Yeah.
But I get away with saying crap, but no one says nothing.
That's dope because it is a very everybody's super sensitive, hypersensitive. Everybody wants to cancel, but you've always had a shock value to you.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
you still being yourself.
I come from an era. We both come from an era of
Right.
social media where it was like, if I don't like you, I just unfollowed you.
Right. In real life too.
That-
If you say something to offend me, we can either fight or forget that we know each other. That's it, and then we can keep it moving.
I don't even like there was a guru that was on Joe Rogan's podcast. I forgot his name, and he was like, words never offend people. They don't. If someone calls me out my name or my response is what's offensive.
Yeah.
How I feel
I
about
take it.
how I
Right.
take it is is
That's
my
facts.
fault.
Right.
When someone says anything to anyone about anything, and they respond, your
Yeah.
response is the result of what you think.
Well, that's the power that I keep.
Yeah. And so that's why freedom of speech is so important, because you can't just sit there and just say, well, we gotta include this and we gotta like, no, like life is not gonna be thornless.
That's facts. It's gonna hurt sometimes.
It's
and sometimes
not.
that helps
And
you grow.
only reason it hurts when it comes to words is because you receive it that way.
That's true.
And it's all up to you. If someone calls you a bitch, like, it's up to you. If you respond to
If
it,
I am not that, I'm not offended.
I'm not offended, bro.
Right. Like I've heard things about myself that I'm like, that's not true. I'm not tripping.
Yeah, I'm not tripping. So like,
Right.
whatever. ET da-da-da-da.
Right.
All right, I gotta go host this party. I'm gonna holler at y'all. You know what I mean? Like,
Right,
you know.
go get another bag.
Yeah, let me go get over here, do this. I gotta get out of here. You know what I mean? Unless you're physically touching me.
Yeah, it's different.
Or you're in my face, like I don't have that response to you.
Right.
Because I know most of the stuff that people would say is not gonna be directly to my face because most of y'all bitch made. So I'm not really worried
We know how that goes.
I'm just, yeah.
I know. We know how.
Yeah, I
that goes.
like,
Right.
you know, I understand when cheerleaders are around other cheerleaders, their pom-poms are going.
Right.
But when it's time to play the game, you're on the sideline.
Right.
So I'm not worried about you. You know what I mean? So I think that a lot of people need to adopt that and remember that because you were taught that, sticks and stones.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Back to the roots. Back to the roots.
If people could get back to that and realize that when people say words have power, if you give them that power.
If you give them that. Like, I hold the power. If you say something I don't like, I give you the power if I react in a way that is to that person's benefit.
If you say something that you hope I respond negative to,
Right.
and I respond that way, I'm the one at fault responding.
Right.
I don't have to respond that way.
Yeah.
So, sticks and stones, I live by that. And unless you're physically like touching me,
Right. We can keep it moving.
yeah, say what you want, bro.
Right.
You know, like I'm cool with that. ET this, ET. All right, bet. You're not gonna say it to my face.
Right. Man, you're not stopping anything.
Yeah, and you're not stopping nothing.
Right.
So I mean, this place is amazing, man.
Appreciate it, brother. Work go speak for itself, man. We got ET right here on the radio side.
Hey,
If
you
y'all
see
just
these
tuning in.
bleachers? Yeah.
We had a few guests over there on the bleachers a few times.
I want to create I want to have like the bleacher bitches, like all y'all. I want all y'all.
This
like,
is out of ET's mouth, not mine.
Like,
You know
we
what I'm
need to
saying?
have,
We got
like-
different approaches on life. But yeah.
we need to have the bleacher bitches, like, and we'll get shorts and shirts that says B&B.
I'm gonna let you handle that, bro.
We'll have like the B&B and have the B&B shirt, like the bleacher bitches, and then we'll give y'all pom-pom. We'll get y'all sponsorships, and the baddest bleacher bitch gets like her own calendar, deck of cards.
There you go.
Yeah, and y'all could vote on the baddest bleacher bitch, and like they just sit right there. Look at these bleachers, bro. Who has bleachers in their studio but Reece?
We can have a little live in studio. It wasn't a poll. It was bleachers, though. That's my guy. Hey, man, right now you tuned in. We got my guy ET right here. We kind of chopping it up a little
cushion
bit.
seats.
And I do want to talk about the benefit. I want
the
to talk
music.
about him, the music, because you created, like you said, you created Battlegrounds, and I felt like that was a great outlet for people that can't get in the rotation right away.
Yeah.
They wanted some shine, but you also had some quality music. I remember going to your album release party, that dope mansion.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? It was super lit. It was laid out.
It
You
was a
had the
Confederate
who's who.
mansion. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
So it used to be the Confederate flag. It used to be the Confederate. Like if you walked through that mansion,
yeah.
the Confederate. Like if you looked at the what's it called when they have the colored mirrors?
Oh,
Like the church has.
yeah, the stained glass.
Stained
joints,
glass. The stained glass is all the Confederate presidents
Okay.
and soldiers.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So it used to be a Confederate's mansion, and my manager at the time, let's pick there, and we did that there, and yeah, that was pretty fun, man.
Yeah, y'all had like teeth whitening, massage
Yeah,
tables.
we
They
had
all
the
types
food,
of
the
stuff.
chefs.
Yeah,
It was amazing.
dope. It was an experience, man. But I think that was an ode to what the music was bringing.
I make music because I am a hip hop head and I can make music. I'm not like, I tell people all the time, like, I don't give a fuck if I'm 80, 90, whatever. I'm going to make music because I
Yeah.
enjoy making
It's in
music.
you to do that.
It's in me to do it. Like, what I mean? My mother is an opera singer.
I didn't know that. That's dope.
That's where I get my big voice from, all that. Yeah. But she did R&B before, and then I started doing what I do.
Right.
But yeah, music is just in my blood, man. Dancing, radio, music. I am this industry.
Yeah.
And I have a project out now. It's called Skater Chic. It's on all platforms. It's I did it underneath United Masters.
Yeah, I grabbed a pre-order of that.
Yeah. So it's actually on there now, and so it's everywhere. It's on iTunes. It's on it's called Skater Chic, but it's under ET Cali, and yeah, man, it's just my first little project. I spent a lot of years pushing other people.
Yeah.
My ex was Coco, and I was putting like a lot of money and time behind her and her dreams. And Jay had Stewie Rock going on,
Right.
and I was trying to hold down the production of Durtty Boys,
Right.
so he could focus on his career. So
Right.
I would just be making music and not putting nothing out
Right.
because I had them going on.
Yeah.
I thought I was doing my part.
Right. No, you were doing your part relative to the time. We all doing our part.
Yeah,
Putting
yeah.
the efforts into something.
You know, the results just wasn't what I thought. But the you know, yeah, man. So I've always made music. I enjoy making it. I enjoy.
Shit, we got a couple songs together.
Yeah.
Stuff. Right.
I remember you bringing me to the studio and I would go in there and do freestyles and he was like, how's it feel being better than most of these niggas that do this for like a living? Right, I was like, they're just not creative, man. Like a lot of them are just not, you know, they're looking to do it for reasons that are based off of like women or money. They're not doing
it. And it's not really, you don't get the quality.
Yeah, they're not doing it for the love of making music.
Hey, Tall Boy, I'm not asking that. I don't do clickbait. I ain't asking that.
What is Tall Boy talking about?
Yeah, it's something I'm not going. I don't ask.
Tall Boy, what's going on over there, boy?
That's my boy.
I ain't seen Tall Boy in so long.
That ain't a crazy question, man. Shout out to him, man. Shout out AB checking into it. A few people in the chat right now, man. Let's talk about it because with everybody being able to get access to you in different ways, it seems like that's a benefit, no pun intended,
right,
to be able to do that because you can release stuff. You don't have to wait on a label. You can just put stuff out.
Yeah, I'm like, you know, like right now, my current, like my first project I just put out was called Skater Chic. My second one's almost done. And I'm blessed enough to do both projects with a Grammy-nominated producer within Rhythm D, who's worked with Tupac, Snoop Dogg, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Bone Crusher, like the list goes on.
That's
Easy
good.
E, he's worked with Easy E, like he's older.
Yeah, but he got that rhythmic, and
he knows all the new technology now.
Yeah,
and it's like being in the studio with someone that's got like a scholar on any style that I want to do.
Yeah.
So if I'm in there and I got like a pattern going on, this is what I mean by producer over beat maker.
Yeah.
Is that he'll sit there and go, okay, that's dope, sing it.
Let me build this around.
Like, let's try it this way.
Yeah.
Not just my idea. So it's that's appreciative when I'm making music with him. But you know, a lot of people are just beat makers, and that's fine. Like I'm not knocking nobody.
Well, it's
but
not paint by numbers when they're doing it that way.
You said what now?
It's not paint by numbers when you're producing that.
Yeah,
way.
you can't. You gotta like music to me and other things are a feeling process.
Yeah, and it's fluid.
You know, like for me, when I hear a beat, that puts me in a mood to write a certain type of record.
Yeah,
I don't like. I don't generally go in there with the record already in mind. So I'll be like, yo, send me like 3 beats, and whatever it makes me feel, I write that to that beat. Yeah, like
that's a dope creative process though, because then you're really giving a genuine reaction to the track.
Yeah, it's to the beat.
Yeah.
Come on, Tia. You want to be one of the bleacher bitches? I'm sorry. Tia's in my live. Come on, Tia. I know you want to be one of the. Tia got a big old dunk. She got a. Tia, you have dinosaur, girl. That thing. She's a. Redunculous. Come on, be one of the bleacher bitches. You got big chesticles too.
Oh my god. Here we go. So yeah, bro, we he's stupid.
Reese is like, yeah. So how do I transition from bleacher bitches?
That's an easy transition. Coming off the bitch into the podcast.
Come on, baby.
You're in the multiverse of radio now.
Yeah.
You on Dash, you on these different platforms, you in this
my
digital space.
My NFT interviews are coming really soon.
So talk to me, because you got hundreds of thousands of views, you got Nip, you got all types of people that you sat down with over the years that you actually hold the rights to these properties in these interviews, and they're not just for right here, right now. They're everywhere.
No, so my next project, well, this is my next goal is to I'm preparing myself to be a billionaire.
Okay.
And what that means is S corps, charitable trust funds, whole life insurance policies, things that I can basically
make money off of. And
people can deposit money. I get to keep most of my money legally, not do it illegally.
Right.
And I can now do international stuff. I've been sending my stuff to I want to go do radio on a nation. My goal. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you something, man. I had a rocky point in my life for about 2.5 years. I lost everything, right? Like, girl, friends, money, everything. Okay, things that were promised me were not were not kept to me. Even when I left iHeart, they was like, they told me we didn't live up to our end of the bargain. I'm like, dude, why did y'all ask me to leave?
Yeah,
I would have never left.
Yeah.
and they cut me like a nice little check, and I lived off that for a minute. And then it was this dead process because COVID was around.
Yeah.
This is like 2020?
20, yeah.
And so COVID hit, all this stuff. And all I had was just ET and my clubs. Well, they were shut down for a while in Georgia, but then when they opened back up, I got back popping. But like what I learned from that process is preparing myself to be rich better. And I wasn't, as much as I thought I knew back then, I wasn't prepared to be rich. I worked for it. Yeah. Had the work ethic hands down. Even if someone doesn't like me, they will never tell you that ET had a bad work ethic. Yeah. They will never say that. I don't care if it's a boss, a partner, a former friend, whatever the case may be. They're not gonna sit there and say ET was lazy. Yeah. Right. That's not.
It's not part of the fabric.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's just not what I did. But as far as a knowledge of where to put my money, how to clean it up, how to not have to pay all the goddamn taxes on shit, where to make the right investments, I did not have the knowledge. Right. And I lost everything. And when that happens to you and everyone around you disappears, including people you thought would be there no matter what, it's like, it's crushing at first because then you start questioning God. You're like, I can't handle this much. You go, should I be able, I can't really handle this. You know what I mean? Like, I know they say he only gives you what you can handle, but I'm not sure I can handle this. Because you go from condo living and having any car that you want, and then you're like, really? This is where you putting me right now? You know what I mean? I didn't pray for this. I didn't ask for this. So I didn't work for this.
You had to go into a very uncomfortable space.
Oh, man, it was terrible.
Was it a cleansing space?
Yeah, it was terrible. Gained weight. All that kind of stuff.
That comes with stress anyway.
Yeah. Right. And then, and so anyway, then you come out of the dust and you go, okay, why? What am I supposed to learn from this? And then you start, because in the moment of losing everything, you think about everything that you lost. Yeah. And then you think about everything that you had. And then you go, well, if I had it, I can get it again times 10 because...
That's the millionaire mindset.
Yeah, I already did it.
I got it, I can get it.
Yeah, I already did it, so I can definitely do it again. That's not the issue. Like, my talent and my gifts didn't go anywhere, right? But then you go, okay, well, what didn't I do? You have to ask yourself. If you're a smart person, you got to look at the faults of what you didn't do.
You got to look in the mirror first.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, well, I didn't set up my businesses properly. I did trademarks because I thought that was correct. Yeah. And I did like little things, but I wasn't all the way right. I didn't understand how to have the right lawyers for this and have the right accountants for that. And maybe I shouldn't buy his and her cars. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I know it looked good at the time and she was happy and I'm thinking I'm being a good dude. And maybe I shouldn't do that shit. Maybe I should take this money and make some investments or, but it's that's where you grow to. So right now, everything that I'm doing right now is preparing myself to be international. My goal was always to be syndicated out of Atlanta from a major radio station so that we could be a power hub like New York or LA. Right. I wanted to be like the big boy of LA or the Breakfast Club. At one point in time, if you was in the North and you were anywhere up north and you were listening to a morning show, they were saying it's the Breakfast Club. Yeah. If you were in the South, I don't give a fuck what nobody says. From Texas on over, nobody's show was bigger at nighttime than the Durtty Boys. We were streamed around the world.
That wasn't in the biggest intro ever for no reason.
I'm just saying, like, it wasn't like, it wasn't, there was nobody who would, everyone bid off of us in other markets because they streamed us and then they did our show segments in their markets. Right. It was like, and when I wanted to take that next level step to the syndication part, they just gave me every excuse. Everyone gave me excuses of why they could not and never tried to help us of why we could be.
Help me get to the yes.
Yeah. Like, y'all gonna make money off of this. I don't understand the stupidity. So that was all. So when all of that crumbles, and then you're just left with yourself, your love is gone and your career is dust and all this is going on, you contemplate, you go, this isn't what I prayed for. This isn't what I worked for. So what am I doing here? Right. And then you have to look at yourself and you have to say, okay, well, all right, let me start with this one brick. Yeah. And just start rebuilding. And I was like, well,
but that's the foundation we talked about earlier. It's
Yeah.
like you got to rebuild that foundation. You had a high model sports car, but what road is it on?
absolutely. And I didn't have the right knowledge of S corps and things of that nature and good credit. You know, my credit's great now. Like it was good back then, but I didn't. Yeah,
Like, man, good
my credit. Like I have a business credit now.
Right.
I have things that are different because I wanted to do things from Atlanta to like Africa.
Right, a higher level.
Yeah,
A
and I'm
level.
thinking to myself, like, if I can do international stuff, I used to talk to people. Bruh, someone can have this idea. This was back in 2000, like, I've been saying this since 2013 when I was doing spring break parties in Florida, me and A+.
Right.
I want to do a spring break cruise. And I want to call it the Four Kings Cruise. And then the year after, call it the Four Queens. And the reason why is because the Four Kings would be the Kappas, Omega, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I want to have them host it.
Right.
Have it be 18 and up.
Yeah.
And we go from here to Puerto Rico on a cruise.
Yeah.
That way you don't really
You
need.
don't need a passport.
You don't need a
but you're still
passport.
having that, you still getting that experience.
Imagine having a spring break cruise.
Right.
18 and up, being sponsored by like Red Bull,
Right.
Magnum, you know, all that stuff.
And they go together. It
Yeah,
makes sense.
you know, they go together. You know what I'm saying? This is what I mean by the real answer versus the right answer.
right.
This is the real answer because
Right.
people would do it because saying it is different than doing it, and people do shit they never say they would do all the time.
All the time, right.
So that was the idea, and I used to tell people this. That was everybody, man. And I could never figure out how to get to the bread to do this stuff, or to get to the right person to write this up.
Right.
And it used to piss me off, bro. And my anger about it, I allowed the no's to make me angry, which is my fault. And I would just like throw my hands up because it's like no one builds an empire by themselves.
But the issue is you're doing, so you have a job, right?
Yeah.
You're doing your job, but you say, well, I think this job could make this job better, so I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
So you start to do all these different jobs
Yes.
and take all these different
Yes.
roles, but you like, hey, I'm asking you guys to do the same thing I'm doing. I'm not asking you to do nothing I'm not doing.
Yeah,
I'm just asking you to
that's
do
my thing.
A different thing.
Yeah.
And nobody's jumping in to help. And that's where the frustration I think could come in.
Yeah, absolutely. If I'm producing the show every night
Right.
so that you could become whatever you want to be, and she can become whatever she wants to be, and I'm just recording my music, but I'm making sure that our show is produced in a way that makes us number one. And when I left that show, we had a 15-8 share
That's crazy. Let me hit the hype bill for that.
at nighttime, nigga. Like
That's crazy.
this ain't like, that show ain't seen a 15 nothing since I was gone. And the only reason I know is because I see the numbers. I be on Arbitron, nigga. So you can't lie to me. And Nielsen, I know what was going on. And the only reason, and iHeart used to brag to me about it. They like, what was his name? The regional marketing president used to tell me he was Italian Jewish dude.
Yeah.
And when I mean that in the most like funniest way. Like he's like, yeah, you
Right.
know, like he was one of those guys, the full on character, bro. And he would pull up the numbers in the shares. He's like, yeah, man, them numbers, them shares is just trickling down. And I, you know, you can't change the quarterback and expect everybody to be Tom Brady or Russell Wilson. Like,
That's true,
just
yeah.
because they hold the title of quarterback doesn't mean they're going to throw like them.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that they suck, but it just means that they're going to have a different style of play.
Exactly, and so sometimes the system got to change too.
The system got to
That
change.
doesn't
Yeah,
change,
it's a lot of factors.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, that my goal was to make Atlanta broadcasting hub.
And that's what it could be and should be now. I just talked to Rashad, right? So Rashad works with Beehive.
Yeah. I love Beehive. Beehive, what's up?
Amazing, man. They doing some amazing stuff over there. Big Fact screaming them. They doing amazing stuff over there.
Shouts out to Scream, my dog. Scream quit his nighttime position every day. Not quit.
Yeah.
Let me take that back. But transitioned from his nighttime position every day at being on the air at iHeart just to do weekends because they're just not elevating with the program of what's going on. I would dip too. Scream and Big Bang, one of the biggest podcasts right now on what's Charlemagne?
Charlemagne, the Black Effect.
Black Effect, yeah. One of the biggest podcasts, and
that's
making
what I'm
all
saying,
that money.
Man. You got all of these hubs here. We got people doing consistent media, yourself, myself,
Yes.
them, and not just talking because we here. I'm being dead for real. Like people that have been consistent in the game, that's creating consistent media, right?
Yes.
Man, we could be that same hub and same effect as New York or LA.
But you know what? You know what the game is missing in Atlanta? If you look at all the numbers, like the radio numbers, is they're not connecting it both no more. When me and Jay were doing our things, it was connected. We were in the streets, we were online
And on air.
and on air. It was a smooth
Well,
connection.
we
Now
see
what's
how the win
happening
was.
is pre-recorded shows. It's stagnant shit. It's just repetitive. No one's being creative no more. And I feel, it seems to me, either the people that are dope have kind of given up their creative modes. I'll say that respectfully. Or you guys have hired the fake versions of people, or like they're just not as talented as what you think they are.
Got you.
I'll say that because
sometimes you lose quality in the copy. We put it like that.
yeah, you lose quality because you're not dope.
Yeah.
You're just repetitive. Like it's a difference between being creative on just repeating somebody else's shit. It's not fun. And you got to take risks. No millionaire or billionaire is ever not taking a risk. If you're going to be
Play it
dope,
safe unless they came in with money.
yeah, but you got to still take a risk to elevate. And
Yeah,
this is a
absolutely.
risk.
Yeah, this is it.
We're in a risk right now.
This is a high risk. This is
Right.
a risk. But it is what it is, and it's the same risk we was taking at the station. We're going
Absolutely.
out doing things on our own dime.
But do we have people in position of power then that were willing to? I remember Hurricane Dave said to me, he was like, "E.T., I don't agree with everything that you say, but I look at the numbers and I know it works."
Yeah.
I can respect
I can
that.
respect that.
Because you don't have to like it, but you're not in he wasn't there to deny me
Yeah.
like doing it, because he's like, well shit, if it's working.
Right. I remember the first boxing trip when to do Radio Raw and boxing. I took off and went out on my own.
Right.
Bought my own ticket, went out there and did Radio Raw for the Mayweather fight. And after that, they started allowing personalities and people to go because of what we brought back and the stuff that we had online.
Right.
I think it was crazy. So that just goes to show you not. Like, you have to be able to think outside the box and connect with the people, because they were thinking, I don't think boxing going to work with this audience.
And that's the problem, is they're looking at an audience and they're looking at numbers. If people it's a tough thing to ask too. Like I remember at iHeart they asked me, why is it that hip hop is so? Because iHeart's big on. They were like, they've been doing things since AOL,
Right.
You know, since they were Clear Channel,
Right.
And they were part of the whole streaming. Like they've been on it.
Yeah.
And iHeart, I remember being in meetings with them, and they would ask me, what is it? Why is hip hop is so big? Why they would ask me that? And I said, I want you guys to think about this. When a pop artist does a remix,
Who do they go get?
they never go get another pop artist. They go get a hip hop artist, because hip hop is the #1 streamed genre in the world. Whatever kind of hip hop you like.
Yeah.
If it's Lil Uzi Vert, if it's fucking Lil Baby, if it's like, if it's drill, whatever your style of it, it's still hip hop.
Right.
Right. Doja Cat, if you consider her hip hop, fine.
Right.
It's some form of rap and hip hop involved,
is,
right?
yeah.
And the reason I said is because hip hop is so inclusive
Yeah.
of people, whereas country music say, it's not country unless it's this.
Right.
It's not pop unless it's that.
Right.
We don't do that in hip hop. We'll
Right.
go, that guitar is dope. I know it's electric, but we're gonna put that in this
And
music.
then you get Party Like a Rock Star.
Right.
Right. And you get all
My
these
fault.
different. You get all.
And I'm over here taking
You
up
done
people's
got
time.
FCC fined 4 times since we been here. We not even under the FCC.
Right.
Because he created
Right.
the
My
bleacher,
bad. I'm over here.
the
I didn't-
bleacher bees.
Man, I'm talking about the Bleacher Broads. How about that?
There we go. See, that's what I'm saying. That's how you meet in the middle.
The Bleacher Broads.
But nah, man, we did kind of go off on a tangent, but I definitely appreciate this conversation, because you're actually telling people, don't wait. Don't wait on somebody to tell you, all right, just do what you do. Be yourself, and it's going to come, but the consistency has been the key.
Discipline is all, and anything in life, discipline is the thing. Martial arts, sports,
Yep.
anything like that. If you can do anything that you have to be disciplined at, it will. If you can change anything about your physical body, it will definitely guarantee. I promise you 100. I'll pay you if it doesn't.
Yeah.
It will change your life for the better. So if you're going through anything in life right now, try to change your physical first, because you can control that.
Yeah.
whether it be lose weight or gain muscle or whatever the case may be.
Right.
If you can change your physical, I promise you, it will definitely improve your regular life.
Yeah, it definitely will. I can vouch for that, man. Let's get into this fast forward questions. You ready, bro?
Let's go.
All right, man. One thing you wish everybody knew about ET without you having to explain it.
My origins are East African.
That makes a lot of sense now.
My real name is actually Tarif Malik.
Okay.
So I got a real nigga name.
You do, bro.
It's actually if you're in East Africa, it's like you're either Muslim or Eritrean. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why you and Nip got along so well.
We got along very well.
That's what's up. All right, man. That explains a lot.
Yeah.
I thought you was Puerto Rican for years.
Everyone did, and I never bothered to correct anybody because I was like, well, man, maybe I could play this angle.
Yeah. So you're really the hookah boys. That's what's up, bro.
I'm the hookah boys.
All right, man. If you could have a guest, 4 guests at dinner, who are those 4 guests?
Oh, this is perfect. Okay, you ready? Mm-hmm. I would love to have a dinner with Joe Rogan.
Okay.
I want to have Michael Jackson there because I want to hear his real voice talking because
I will get Pops to tell you he talked to him a couple times. So
he has a deeper voice or a higher voice.
Uh-huh.
And who's another one? Nicki Minaj because I think that I just want to see her in a peaceful environment, and I have a lot of respect for her. I think she's one of the dopest rappers, male or female.
Guarded most times when she's in the public.
Yeah, she's very guarded, and I think that, and I want to see her in a relaxed pace. And then I think that, in my opinion, I put her in my top 15 of rappers.
Yeah.
Period, like male or female.
Gotcha.
And then the other person is Robin Williams.
Okay.
Because I wish I could have interviewed a guy who had that kind of magic and energy.
Yeah.
That was just spontaneous at a level that I'm not sure we'll ever see again.
Closest thing we got to it, and on that side, I'm not making it a white black thing. Closest thing I'd probably say would be Jim Carrey and maybe Will Ferrell. Not there, but close
to it.
You could have that type of.
If I could get Robin Williams and have him I would just love to be around that energy for about 40, 50 minutes, hour. Just to see someone say something and him go off on like a whole play
about it,
and make it a movie.
And
it's
be
like
4 or 5 different people while they're doing
at the same time. Like, could you imagine? Like, that's an interview I wish I could have. I've interviewed pretty much everyone. I put the Braxtons on a poll one time.
Really?
I had the Braxtons, not Tony, but all the other ones. I got a video.
Come break my heart on the poll.
But I got all the other ones on a poll. I got a video of it. I got
2 of them kissing me in the cheek at the same time. This is one of the GOAT
movies. I got him on the poll. She was wearing
her
Sunday's best.
Okay, that's what's up. That's called balance, people. That's called balance.
On the poll.
We don't call him a legend for nothing.
ET says I got Jocelyn Hernandez on the poll.
That's not a stretch as far as.
But remember, it was a stretch when she said I'd never get on the poll against Stevie.
Right, but you did it.
When I got her on the poll, I was like, and I got video of that too.
Taking shots of the fireball. All right, man. Let's get to the next question. Favorite place or venue to host of all time?
Oh wow, God!
This is the world's best host, and I'm not saying that. I'm saying that really, like you keep a crazy energy.
I've been a part of very many legendary clubs that became legendary when we were there, and then after I was gone, whoever came on after, it was already popping. Like Mansion was already popping before anybody else came and hosted and DJ. Period. Like we had people coming from other markets. Mansion was one of my favorites. Obsessions. Club Crunk, Prime Time.
Yeah.
What else, man? Studio 72 was major. Club Miami.
Miami was crazy.
You know, my Tuesday night when we used to do Mint Lounge, that was like, I remember.
That's up on 85, right?
Light Skin Keisha used to be like, man, when y'all gonna bring back Tuesdays?
Yeah. Like green lights in there. Or something.
Yeah, it was sexy. So Mint Lounge. Nice. But yeah, man, I would say Obsession, Studio 72, Club Mansion. Were probably like the legendary clubs of Atlanta if you were 18 to like 30.
Yeah.
Those were the legendary spots, man. But I've hosted so many things, man. Like college campuses.
Yeah.
I've been blessed, man. Like, the fact that people want to hear me talk on a mic.
Yeah.
Like
it feels crazy sometimes, right?
Like it's crazy. Like I do it every day, like with a passion.
Yeah.
People put a mic in my face and I'm like, man, all right, let me do what I do.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just, I can't say no. So, yeah, man, I would say Mansion, Obsession, Studio 72, Club Miami, I know I'm missing some here. Crunk and Primetime.
Yeah.
Um,
Primetime. Oh, Tall Boy just said that too. Primetime.
Oh yeah,
Eastside,
Primetime was Panty Raids and Escalades, man.
Crazy.
Yeah. Shout out to all the DJs, King Arthur, Pretty Boy Tank, Spins. That all DJ these events, man. DJ Tone.
Yeah.
AJ the DJ. Mark B.
Yeah.
When I was hosting Club Opera, Club Opera used to
was crazy.
smash, bro.
Yeah, Opera was crazy.
I used to smash Opera. All these clubs when I first got there, they weren't popping clubs, and I can honestly say that when we built them, they became
that pop
majors.
Right.
And I remember like passing them off to other people, and it was like they would go up and down. It made me feel, it strokes the ego a little bit.
It does. I ain't gonna lie, it does. Like you
it's like they might have a couple of good events.
Yeah.
When you're not there with new people and new hosts and new DJs, but they're never consistently popping just because it's the weekend. They'd have to book an artist.
Yeah, I would definitely say that. So like, what made me know I could host, like I could just do what I was doing, was if I could follow a club you did or follow a club Simon did.
Oh yeah, Simon was the man,
bro.
R.I.P. the GOAT.
I know, the GOAT, man. And when I was doing that run, that 2-year run, that 3-year run at Taboo,
yeah,
and he would do Friday and I had to come and do Saturday.
Yeah.
Bruh, I was like, I got something. Then he hit me one day. He's like, you on to something. So that was
I love Simon. He always had good energy and gave me great conversation.
A real one, bro.
Every time.
A real
Every time. I never had a bad conversation with Simon, ever.
That's facts. All right, man. You could put together a radio show yourself, definitely on the microphone. You could produce or co-produce, whatever you want to do. Who are you putting in those captain chairs with you?
Oh man. Oh wow, that's a good one. I have a chick named Miss Monet that when I tell you she's like the female version of me, I love her.
That's
she's
scary.
A Delta. I know, right? And I've been looking for her because you know how many times we tried to put females on with the Dirty Boys and it just never worked.
Yeah.
But she's edgy. She's very smart. She's very beautiful. She's got a capital C for a butt. And yeah, dog. She's redunculous. And she's, I promise you, she's half dinosaur. And but she's beautiful. She's smart, and she's a Delta.
Okay.
Yeah, and she's about to get her master's right now for speech pathology.
What?
Yes, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a monster, homie. She's no kids.
Yeah.
I could tell her jokes like, if you learn to swallow, kids won't follow. And she's like, yeah, you right. Like,
so yeah, she understands it.
Yeah,
she understands.
Love her,
right?
bro. As far as a male counterpart, oh my gosh, I don't know, man. There's a couple of people that I like. I like Sue Solo. She's on Streets 945.
She dope. Sue dope.
I love Sue Solo.
Yeah.
She's on Streets 945. I love Ferrari. Ferrari's dope.
Ferrari dope.
That's my dude, man.
Yeah. Shout out to Rory, man. He does a reading in the schools and all that. Man.
Yeah, Rory's
He always been 1,000.
I see him sometimes on Stone Mountain when I'm working out.
Yeah.
He pop up.
Yeah.
I love Rory. And Sue Solo, I'm trying to think who else, man. I still love Miss Shanika. I think Miss Shanika.
Yeah, bro.
I think Miss Shanika is the mouth of the South. Yeah. And I don't work there no more, but I think that was the dumbest thing that they ever did was to get rid of Miss Shanika at Hot 107.9.
She is
that was the dumbest shit in the world.
So you got people that are staples of the city, like Ryan,
Shanika.
That list is kind of short.
And she's a millennial.
Right.
Like, you don't get rid of that.
Connect.
Bruh.
On different levels.
That was the dumbest thing. I would love to see her have her own afternoon show again. She's definitely the South's Wendy.
Yep.
And she needs to have her own stage, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I'm always open for whatever's next.
Yeah.
You know, if someone comes up to me and I think that they're dope and I can like kind of groom them in a different way,
right,
I'll take them on. You know what I mean? I think that you're dope. I think that you bring an element of people, getting people together that other personalities just don't have.
Appreciate
people
that.
just think they just talk on the mic. I'm like, bruh, you know how hard it is to connect with people that you don't know?
That's facts. Yeah.
This man does it.
Yeah. It is.
I don't give a fuck what his personality is like. Like, that's, you can't buy that. You can't teach that. I can't teach you to be a personality.
Nah, I could teach you the all of the technical things. I could teach you what frequencies are. I could teach you how to bring a mic up and pull it down, but I can't teach you how to be a personality.
Never.
Right. That's facts. But it's good when you got guys like this, like ET, that know the school book part and also can connect on the talent end as well. And that's when you become one of those legends. Let me hit that hype bell again. Let's get to our Pops Knows Best of Reese's Peace of Mind for the day. This man has been the embodiment of growth in a phoenix and a rising, as you can see, man. So let's go ahead and get into it right now. Pruning can hurt. It can be painful, but it is definitely a part of growth. So sometimes you got to lose or cut off the things around you in order to you reach that next level. And that's what it is right there. We heard that several different ways during this interview, man. Y'all can keep it locked right here. We got more mixes on the way. DJ Decepticon on the move right here, right now. Yes, sir. Transform. Right here on Reec Radio. Don't move.